Hey guys, welcome back as always, my name is Lazar, and it's that wonderful time of year. No, I'm not talking about Christmas, we're talking about Tennocon. And with Tennocon, one of the big payoffs is Baro Kityr's entire inventory. One catch though, you will have to have a Tennocon ticket, either digital or physical, to get access to his entire inventory. But here's the thing, you don't have unlimited time, unlimited resources, do you? What you need is a priority list. We got everything into an easy to digest Prio 1, Prio 2 and Prio 3. So if you want to be covered for everything, just get everything. But that will be quite the farm. Keep in mind here we don't discuss cosmetic, those are subjective and entirely down to the user. Here we discuss the actual functional bits. We're talking about the important stuff, the mods, the weapons, the relics, etc. Starting off with Voltaic, Strike and Jolt. This can only be obtained from Baro Kityr the Void Trader, so you need to grab yourself a couple of each. Prime Chamber is here only for the mythos. Once upon a time, this exchanged hands for thousands or hundreds of thousands of plat. Nowadays, you really don't have much use for this one. Again, Prio 1 just for the mythos. By all intents and purposes, you should just put it into a Prio 3, like so. Split Flight, now this is a bigger deal than you might think, especially if you love Incarnate Bows. I'm talking about the Incarnate Paris and the Incarnate Dread. Both of them can make use out of this absolutely fantastic mod. Make sure you have a copy. Prime Charge Shell, this is electricity damage for your shotguns. Prime Continuity is duration for your Warframes. Also, nowadays you have Archon Continuity, so Prime Continuity, not as a big of a must as it used to be, still definitely a Prio 1. Prime Cryo Rounds, cold damage for your rifles. Cold damage has been buffed, both in damage and actual proc, so you must get yourself this one 100%. Prime Flow Energy Max for your Warframes, you can also get an Archon Flow. Prime Heated Charge, this is heat damage for your secondary weapons. Prime Pistol Gamba and Prime Target Cracker, critical chance and critical damage for your secondary weapons, again a must. Prime Point Blank, flat damage for your shotguns. There are tons, and I mean tons of ways to get flat damage out of weapons nowadays, so you might have to move this one into Prio 2. Honestly, I don't have the heart for it. Prime Ravage is critical damage for shotguns, this one remains a Prio 1. Prime Fever Strike, this is toxin damage for your melee weapons. Prime Pressure Point, again flat damage just like Prime Point Blank, only Prime Pressure Point applies to rifles. Prime Chilling Grasp, this is cold damage for your shotguns, once again a must-have, just like Prime Cryo Rounds. Now these two with red, Prime Convulsion and Prime Redirection, are the only two new mods from 2023 to 2024 that had made the priority list. Prime Convulsion is going to be electricity damage for your secondary weapons, and Prime Redirection, this is maximum shields for your Warframe, especially delicious on Hildren. And Prime Reach, this is melee range, a must-have in any monkey spammer's build. Now let's talk about weapons, and when it comes to weapons I usually get nostalgic, so there you go. Ignis Rave, this used to be an icon, and you know what? It's still an icon in Warframe. It's a whole lot more easier to obtain nowadays in the sense that I would not buy it from Baro. Get it from your clan. It's gonna be a whole lot more cheaper. The Ignis Wraith is the star, the flamethrower of Warframe, and in my opinion, it's an experience you must enjoy. Check out my 2024 build on it. Galaxion Vandal. Nowadays we got a Tenant Galaxion, so the Galaxion Vandal is no longer the greatest Galaxion, but the Tenant Galaxion sure is one hell of a non-incarnate weapon. Because you see my friends, incarnate weapons dominate the meta. Incarnate Prisma Gorgon, you should definitely try this one, even though out of the incarnate weapons, let's just say it's not the best out of all incarnate weapons, to say the least. Prisma Twin Gremlins. I have a dirty fetish for this. I love these weapons. They pin enemies to walls. It's absolutely fantastic. Is it meta? Is it one of the top 5, 4, 15, 10, 20? No. It's just fun. You remember fun? Yes, these are fun. Quanta Vandal, spacey futuristic weapon. I absolutely love this one. It fires these cubes that detonate and chain to other cubes, and double beams that meet in the middle and melt enemies, and it can destroy Steel Path. Yes, it can. Not as good as XYZ Incarnate, but that's beside the point. Vastalok Gunblade, you guys love it. Do I need to say more? Opticore Wunderbar. Now, the Opticore, the OG Opticore, will always remain with me, because when I started out as a Tenno, see, I told you I get nostalgic. When I started out as a Tenno, there was a guy that had the Opticore, and it took forever to charge, but when he released that beam of light, everything got melted. I was so impressed. It's so not impressive nowadays, but it's still a goddamn cool weapon. I mean, come on, it's a photon cannon. What's not cool about that? Prisma Dual Cleavers, press E, you win. Machete Ray, press E harder or lighter? Nah, it's just the same amount of pressing, and you still win. Though keep in mind, Machete Ray better than Prisma Machete, so therefore, this one is better than that one. But you still press Prisma Angstrom. This one has an incarnate version. And it's actually not half bad. Most players don't really gravitate towards this one, but I'm having a whole lot of fun with it. And not only that, it also kicks some serious butt. Prisma Scana, what do you know? It's a melee. It's a Prisma Scana. There's an incarnate version to this one as well. I think it makes a good stat stick if I remember correctly. Zylock. The incarnate Zylock was bugged and then it was fixed, but it was still bugged. But now you got an incarnate Zylock Prime. So the poor old Zylock from a Prio 1, oh no, will be put into a Prio 3. It's just mastery fodder at this point, my friends, so keep it to Prio 3. Very Chris. It's a war fan. War fans are sexy. And that's it. Prisma Lens. You know what the Prisma Lens is? I'll tell you what it is. It's better than the regular lens, and that's it. It may not be meta, but if you're a nostalgia player like I am, I mean, we've been playing for like, what, 7-8 years now? You want to play with the lens because it makes the original big bada boom with the frost shock. You guys remember when the lens would kill us because there was self-damage in Warframe and less hand-holding? Yeah? Yeah, well, that's gone now, so there you go. Prisma Oma, you press E, you win. It's a Tonfa, fantastic. XCV8 and Neo 01. You gotta get yourself Volt Prime. Volt Prime is meta for Eidolon hunting. What? You don't do Eidolon hunting anymore? Well then, he's still meta, because you know, he has multiple builds. Volt Prime is a fantastic Warframe and you should definitely pick him up even if you don't do Eidolon hunting. Prio 2, High Voltage Shell Shock. The only reason these are Prio 2 and not Prio 1 alongside Voltaic Strike and Jolt is the fact that these can be farmed from the game. Mission Nilgar Planet Eris, find all the secret caches, then upon extraction you can cry for about a year and a half, a year and 8 months like I have, or you can get them sooner than I did. And there you go, I would still pick them up from Baro and save myself the trouble. Mark of the Beast and Combo Fury are situational, not exactly some of the best mods in the game, you should still have them in your collection, but definitely not a Prio 1. Prime Animal Instinct, a whole lot of Tenno will jump on my head and say, move it to Prio 1, like that to Prio 1. But I don't want to, so I won't, simply because the normal one will do the job. But when it comes to quality of life, Prime Animal Instinct is absolutely fantastic. Now here's something everybody can relate to, gentlemen. Prime, fast hands, reload, you know, faster, reload. Anyway, situational, just like Prime Heavy Trauma. Now, Prime Heavy Trauma is impact damage. And impact is not as bad as it used to be, but it's still impact. I don't know, it smells, it reeks of impact. Not fantastic. Prime Pack Leader, Prime Slip Magazashu, magazine size, Prime Regen. Oh, once upon a time, Prime Regen alongside Sacrifice was fantastic to get ourselves some reses. Nowadays, not so much. Prime Quick Draw, I can say the exact same thing as Prime Fast Hands. Essentially, it's reload speed. It can be useful, but it's highly situational. Prime Firestorm and Prime Fulmination. These two are 100% meta on certain explosive area of effect weapons, but once again, they are situational. You're not going to be using these on most weapons, which is why they're not a Prio 1. Prime Tactical Pump reload speed for shotguns, Prime Magazine Warp magazine size for rifle, and finally, Prime Ammo Stock. This is magazine capacity for your shotguns. When it comes to the weapons, the Prova Vandal is here because it's a melee. The thing about the Prova Vandal, normally you don't see it all that often from Baro. So if you're the kind of player that, hey man, I'm trying to max out my mastery because I believe my mastery rank means something, you might want to hunt this one down. Prisma Krakata, oh, how it pains me not to put it into S tier, God tier, super ultra God tier of tiers. It's Clem's weapon, and I love Clem. And I am a bit of a nostalgic player in case you didn't notice, but unfortunately it's simply not all that good. Augment included, whatever, it's just not all that good. Prio 2. Prisma Dual Decurions, this is a heavy weapon, and most of you guys don't play with heavy weapons because you know they're underpowered as hell, but hopefully Tennocon 2024 will have some surprises for us. Prisma Obex, this is a melee, and you know what? It's a really nice melee, but it's still a melee. Would you prefer I say melee? Melee. Full Car Wraith, fantastic sniper rifle, this is my favorite non-Eidolon hunting sniper rifle. Now don't get me wrong, you can hunt Eidolons with a toothpick, and no, I'm not kidding, you can get it with a fishing spear. We tried it like 4 years ago, but it doesn't have the fantastic stats that the Rubico Prime has, for example, which it makes that one a bit of a more apt Eidolon hunting weapon. However, the Vulcar Wraith is still fantastic for doing something like ribbon challenges, for example. Mara Detron, you have a better version of the Detron now. It's called the Tenant Detron, and neither of them are meta weapons. Oh, but they work great with mag! Oh, yeah, that's true. You mean just like any other projectile-based attack in the game, right? Prisma Grinlock, this is a, well, it's a lever action rifle. And considering what the most powerful weapons in the game do, if you compare the Grinlock to something like the, I don't know, the Latron, or the Torrid, you'd think they're from entirely different games. But all intents and purposes, with a heavy heart, you gotta go to Prio 3. I love you, but goodbye. Prisma Machete already talked about. Halika Wraith. Did you know that for the longest time I didn't know what the hell this was? It's a glaive. And if you're gonna be playing with a glaive, there are plenty of other better glaives. Supra Vandal. I'm just gonna take it and put it here into Prio 1 because it's the Supra Vandal. I mean, all the memes. Is that a Supra? Does that mean nothing to you? Nothing to you. Actually, with a corrosive and cold build, a brand new cold proc, it's a bit better than it was before. So objectively, I'm moving it into Prio 1. And you can't stop me. There you go. Godva Prime. This is the weapon that we got last year during Tennocon. It has an interesting crit mechanic. For all intents and purposes, it's an average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill AR with only its special ability to set it apart from the rest, which is why it's not going into C tier or Prio 3. Axie A2 for Aklex Prime and Akvasto Prime with Axie A5. Here's the thing with Ak weapons. What do you do in DE to Ak weapons? They are so cool. You dual wield Deagles or dual wield Texas-style 6-shooters like Colts, or dual-wield Colts and dual-wield Deagles. How is that not cool? Why not Incarnate Genesis adapter for these? Or I don't know, do something to make them more meta if you don't want Incarnate stuff. Temporal, Combo Killer, and Prime Chamber. We talked about Prime Chamber. Temporal. You can farm this one, or you used to farm this one from this white Zanuka. And that white Zanuka thing was a... No, what a Bursa, not a Zanuka, I said Bursa. Bursa, yes. It was a pain in the arse. Honestly, Battle brings it, and you don't really need it all that much. Don't farm it, don't pick it up from Battle, just simply forget about it. And for the very, very, very large majority of builds, you can forget about Combo Killer as well. Situational at best. Yeah, these are the faction mods. I'm gonna give you 2 points of view. A sentimental one and an objective one. The objective point of view is that these are some of the absolute most powerful modifiers in the game. It's a faction modifier, and when it comes to builds that do damage over time, it double dips. We went into great detail in my Hunter Munitions guide, link in the cards right now. You should have a look to understand exactly how these faction modifiers double dip and why they're so damn powerful. So, by all intents and purposes, from a power perspective, they belong in Prio 1. However, the community, myself included, have been complaining about these mods for the past 4 years, 5 years, and nothing has been done about them. So I guess I am forced to put them into a Prio 1. Or, you know, I'm not, because this is my list, so I'll keep them here and keep coloring them brown. Shit brown, that is. Light shade of brown. Prime Mutation all. These can be very good on the right build, right setup, yada yada, but they're highly situational. Prime Morphic Transformer. This is gonna be ability power for your Arcwing. And we don't really like Arcwing all that much, and we don't really play Arcwing all that much. Again, hopefully Tennocon 2024 will have more on this. For the time being, Prio 3, Prime Robot Online Battle. This is flat damage for your Arc Guns again, and Prime Deadly Efficiency is what? It's also flat damage for your Arc Guns, only this one is on reload from empty for 17 seconds to 120%. Prime Dual Rounds is multi-shot. This is interesting because the last couple of battles, they brought this. Maybe this is an indication of what will happen in just a couple of hours at Tennocon 2024. I do not know. You let me know in the comment section down below later. But for the time being, these are mods for heavy weapons. And I know that most of you guys simply just don't play with heavy weapons because, you know, underpowered, bro. I just play meta. I just play Incarnate. Hui. Viper Ray, Prisma Tetra Zylok, and Prisma Grinlock. Prisma Verito, this is an Arcwing melee. I don't think there are a lot of things more irrelevant than the Prisma Veritux in the game. As for the Viper Wraith, it's got a cool little augment, and that's it. It's just simply not that good of a gun. As for the Prisma Tetra, you got a Tenon Tetra, which is, you know, 1,000 times better. For the Zylok, we already talked about, and the Prisma Grinlock, sadly, we already talked about. Stalker Beacon, Zanuka Beacon, Lustrag Beacon, and the Prisma Shade. Nowadays, we got a Shade Prime, which relegates the Prisma Shade to Mastery Fodder. As for the beacons themselves, what can I tell you, my friends? If you're impatient, go for a beacon. If not, just wait it out. Trust me, you're gonna get everything you need from the Assassins either way. And I do believe, my friends, that is pretty much it. As always, my name is Lazar. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. Catch you guys in the next one. I hope this has been useful.